Day 8 of this search. How worried are you?
Oh, I think the signs are really quite gloomy. If we look at what we've known for almost a week now, his phone ran out of battery, he had no fluids with him, he was in unfamiliar territory and trying to make his way a considerable distance back to where he'd been staying. With no update beyond those of any significance, I fear that this is probably a story that will not have a happy ending.
Yeah. Other police forces have offered help, Lancashire Police Force being one of them, but they haven't been taken up on this yet.
No, they haven't. You see, policing around the world is all about control. Police control crowds at demonstrations, football matches. They control crime scenes, witnesses, suspects, and they're supposed to control each other. All about control. Now, it's quite clear to me that the Guardia Civil, who are carrying out this search for Jay, have a particular kind of theory that they're sticking to, and they're following that in so much as that they're looking in the rural areas, the rugged outcrops, buildings, and the such like. What they do not want is to surrender any control of this search for Jay to any other body, which inherently they would do if Lancashire Police, for example, were to send officers out there, look at the inquiry from their perhaps different lens and come up with a different theory.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, what do Lancashire Police think they can offer on this, do you think?
Well, bearing in mind that they manifestly failed to find Nicola Bulley, one might say perhaps not very much. It was, after all, members of the public that found her body tragically. I really don't know. I suspect they probably want to come on board in terms of managing the family, in terms of perhaps allocating a family liaison officer who would, of course, be English-speaking and therefore keep the family on side. I would imagine that is probably at the forefront of their thinking.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Nicola Bulley there. How much have you been reminded of the kind of public reaction in all of this? Because, for example, Jay's employer, where he was working as a labourer on a building site, has said they've had to take down a number of their well-wishers in their comments to the family because of all the negative and the sort of sofa sleuths and all the sort of online conspiracy theories, which is obviously very difficult for the family, but also often hampers police investigations.
The public interest in this case has been vast. The Facebook page apparently has had over 500,000 followers to it. And if you in any way, shape or form put Jay's name into the internet, there is reams and reams and reams of a lot of which is quite frankly nonsense and some of which is heartfelt and contributed by well-wishers. This is so often the problem when a case takes on an identity all of its own, when it grips the public's interest. Because in the 21st century, you can go online, spout whatever nonsense you want to, and some people will think you're an authority.
Yeah. But, Peter, I suppose the long and the short of this is the longer this goes on, the less likely it would be to have a happy ending.
Undoubtedly. I think all the signs are gloomy. I see no chink of light or anything to be optimistic over in this case. I would, of course, be thrilled and delighted, like his family, to be proved fundamentally wrong.
And is it difficult when, as a police officer, you're conducting an investigation and you do get these sort of overzealous sofa sleuths, perhaps sending officers off and resources off on completely wild goose chases?
Whoever is leading this investigation, were it to be in the UK, for example, should be an experienced senior investigating officer. And as part of the experience that you learn in policing across the years, and as part of your training, you learn to deal with what is in front of you, the facts, the evidence, the credible information, and shut out all the nonsense. There will, of course, be some poor soul within policing who has to scroll through all of that to see if there is a nugget, hidden deep within. But essentially, the main players in the team and those carrying out the search are tone deaf to the waffle.